Now, I know the last video I did where we did the light on the driver's side front compartment, I hinted at removing the diamond shield or the 3M shield on the front cap of this. And it was a very popular comment I got about, did you make a video about it? And while I did give a lot of thought about putting a video out about it, I was too exhausted from doing it to put a video together. Or at least a long form video. I did do a very short video. The key to it was this. I did pick up these plastic scrapers from Harbor Freight. You just got to keep the edge pretty sharp. And I did show you how to do it in the video. Now, when I bought my 2001 Beaver Patriot Thunder Class A diesel motorhome, one of the main reasons I bought it was because the exterior paint and sidewalls were in such great condition, there was no checking or peeling on it. It did have one problem on the front that almost every RV of this age has, which is they put a 3M Diamond Shield sticker on the front to protect it from road damage and rock chips. And eventually it tears, but that 3M shield starts to discolor and crack. Now this one's just about starting to do that. You can see that's a little bit more yellow than here. I don't know if you can see all the staining that's embedded into it that you cannot get out anymore. And it'll start to crack and craze, and in places where there's a lot more humidity, it'll start to yellow and brown at all those cracks. It looks awful. And unfortunately, mine had very similar problems, including a lot of staining on top of the cracks that were going on there. And it's chipped everywhere too. It's not an exhaustive tutorial about how to do it because each one's going to require different procedures. I have been working on it for about 4 hours right now with the whole thing in the sun warming up. So hopefully you can appreciate how much better it looks underneath this 3M shield with the paint. I guess was protected from it. It just looked like crap with the 3M shield on. There's not a big secret to doing this. It's just a lot of hard work and taking your time and hurting your hands. But what you definitely want to invest in is these non-marring scraper sets from Harbor Freight. This is what they look like right there. Now, professionals that remove this full time will have their own special solvent, but a normal solvent like this will work. All you're going to do is saturate it pretty well. Try to just get under the edge of it, and you're going to start peeling it up. Ooh. It'll come out in chunks like that. You can see on the ground down there. So you can imagine little chunks at a time on a square footage this size will take a little bit of time. So it might be worthwhile to contact a professional to do it. But if you do take your time, you should be able to get it without damaging the paint. And then you can polish it back up again and you don't have to repaint it. But these non-marring plastic scrapers are pretty vital to the process. Don't use metal, don't use razor blades, no matter how much you want to. You will damage the paint and you'll have to do body work and paint it. But even the keys for these to work, because these tips get dull, you need some sandpaper. Self-adhesive is best. And you just slap it right there on a windshield, which is a nice flat surface. And then you can re-hone the edge of that scraper periodically because it goes dull very quick, being plastic. But wear gloves, be patient, and it'll turn out pretty well if you do it yourself. But it's a lot of work and it's just being tedious and taking your time doing it. Notice these are just long strips because you'll just work the edge. I used a very high-tech chemical in the video. Whatever you do, I am not advising that you use like kerosene or diesel fuel because that would be dangerous. Especially if you make a mess down below. Make sure you clean up any mess. But what you do want to do is make sure you keep the solvent on here, a solvent that's not going to damage the paint, and you work it maybe 1 stripe, 2 stripe, 3 stripes, and then sharpen up the edge again. You got to keep a nice sharp edge on it, and you can use heat. I just used the sun. I found that to be the most even heat, even though it was the coldest part of the year when I was doing this. Each RV is going to be different. Each 3M shield, each diamond shield is going to be different. You got to just let the material tell you how to handle it. When this stuff was too cold, I could not even remotely scrape any of it off. You can try to use heat or a heat gun. I'm concerned about damaging the paint, bubbling the paint, or making it so soft that the plastic is going to gouge it. So I just took my time. I can tell you it's been a week. I don't know if you can see the blister on my hand there still. My hand is still quite sore from doing this. I wore gloves and I wore braces on underneath the gloves to help protect myself. But it can be done. It's just a very tedious job, and I wish you good fortune and good luck if you do it. Mine turned out really well. I can't deny it. I was really surprised I didn't damage the paint. But to make a long form tutorial about the whole process is going to be very difficult for me because I did not want to do this anyways. And you just got to take your time and be patient. Keep the coach, keep it warm, and keep your solvent on there, whatever solvent you decide to use, and just take your time. I will say these are the key to it, along with some 600 grit sandpaper. Resist the urge to use razor blades or metal scrapers. That's what's going to cause a lot of problems. Heat guns, again, can work. I know some people have good luck with steamers. I think a steamer with a second person would be the best option, but trying to steam and scrape at the same time is going to be very difficult, and steaming and then scraping is going to cool off too fast. But to cut to the chase, time and patience is what it's going to take. There is one more key that I forgot. Whatever solvent you decide to use, I used this as a squeeze bottle. You can obviously get a water bottle, drill a hole in the lid, and use that as a squeeze bottle too. But being able to just squeeze a little bit of this stuff down and saturate it, and squeeze and saturate and squeeze and saturate, especially if you can get something. I just had this laying around. I took the cap off and I filled it up with my solvent, but you can see it comes out pretty easily. It's nice to have a solvent that doesn't evaporate very quickly and rests on that vinyl, or rests on that clear bra really for a long time and doesn't evaporate out. And once you can get it behind the edge of it, it does seem to help a lot. And especially if it's a little bit viscous, it does lubricate the whole process too. But you just got to keep the shield wet and your scraper sharp. I hope that answers everybody's questions. I didn't plan on doing a tutorial about it because it was painful. And that's all we're going to touch on right there, because I'm going to get inside and do some more work. At least a long form video. I did do a short video. I'll put that in. I did do a short video. Turn out the dash fan so you guys can appreciate it. Heading back to the shop, and with a pretty smooth ride, with a pretty smooth road, it's pretty quiet in here. We went on a quick little vacation to California. I think everything was a success, and I really had a great time.